Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, the dynasty that is the Tampa Bay Lightning, they are still flourishing in the 2022-2023 season, and it's been incredible to watch what John Cooper is able to do with his players, because over the last few years and going to 3 straight cups, he is still able to keep the Tampa Bay Lightning at a top-notch level, even on losing key players. Like he's been playing like they never left, because the Tampa Bay Lightning have lost key players like Tyler Johnson, like Barclay Goodrow, like Andres Palat, and like Blake Coleman, and they're still playing at a dominant level. And the crazy thing is that because of this dominant level, they're still doing it after the amount of hockey that they have played, because they've gone to 3 straight cups and they're going to the playoffs practically every single year since 2015. Like, the Lightning are just unbelievably dominant. It's been truly amazing to watch. And last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning played the New York Rangers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will be playing the Arizona Coyotes to wrap up their December and to wrap up 2022. Now, in their ferocious battle against the New York Rangers, these guys played rough defense more than anything else in this game, and it was a hard-fought battle all the way to the end. And even though that 86 shots were taken in this game, 46 by New York and 40 by Tampa, each of their goals had to be really hard fought for, because these guys smacked each other around like it was nobody's business. And in that smacking around, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers smacked each other 40 times, and they nearly matched each other on blocks too, as New York had 22 blocks and Tampa Bay had 17 blocks. Now, in this game, we had an epic battle between 2 fantastic goalies with Igor Shesterkin and Andrei Vasilevsky, and it was a great battle because only 1 goal was allowed on each side of the ice. And with all the insane saves that Shesterkin and Vasilevsky made, Vasilevsky made the save of the night, as he had an insane leg block from the shot taken by Philip Cheadle. Now, to really get these goals for both sides of the puck, in the first period, the Rangers were able to score right off the bat thanks to Mika Zibanejad, because he was able to sneak the puck right through Vasilevsky's leg to put the Rangers up 1-0. But after that, it was a battle all the way through, and all the way up until the 3rd period, the Lightning could not score, and they did everything they could, shooting everything that they got. And until that there was 5 minutes left to go in the 3rd period, thanks to Braden Point, they were able to finally get a goal on the board. There was a goal that had a chance of being counted, but it was a kicking motion by a Rangers player that was put in the goal. That was originally a goal by the Lightning. That would have been Brandon Hagel's goal. But Braden Point ended up saving the day and tied it up 1 apiece with very little time left to go for the rest of the game. And because of that goal by Braden, he has been on a dominant and crazy scoring rampage over the last week and a half, over the last few weeks, because over his last 10 games, he has been able to score 10 goals. He has been nothing but dominant for the Lightning. And also, because of that goal, he was able to force this game to go into overtime, and then this game ended up going to a shootout, and his teammate, Alex Killorn, was able to get the game-winning shot and improve the Tampa Bay Lightning's record to 22-11-1. But here's the thing. When it comes to beating winning teams, Texas Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian is not that guy, because anytime that he plays a ranked opponent, he is most likely to lose, because right now he is 2-6 against ranked opponents, and we all know that Matthew McConaughey is not all right with this at all. He's definitely disappointed when it comes to those kind of games, and because of this ALAMO Bowl with the number 20 Texas Longhorns facing the number 12 Washington Huskies, that record of 2-6 by Steve Sarkisian against ranked opponent declined to 2-7 as the Washington Huskies beat them 27-20 in the ALAMO Bowl last night. Now, what happened in this game with the Texas Longhorns? They had a lot to deal with to begin with anyway, because the Washington Huskies offense was one of the most productive and dominant offenses in the whole country. Their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., had the most passing yards in the country this year in the FBS. He also made his offense the second most productive offense in the country as well. So Texas, just to start this game off, or just to play in this game, they had a lot to stop, and they had to figure out answers right away, but that did not happen whatsoever, because it was Washington all the way through. But here's the thing. This game started in the most epic way you could possibly imagine, because what happened is, right off the bat on the very first drive, Washington's quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., threw an interception. And then as soon as Texas got the ball, they had a 3-and-out and went to punt. And then Washington ended up blocking the punt. But from there, Washington, they were the only ones that could really score, and Texas had no answer at all, because at the end of the first half, it was 13-3, and it was the first time since 2010 that the Texas Longhorns had no touchdowns in the first half since the 2010 National Championship, where Texas played the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Alabama ended up winning that game. Now, for the rest of the game, Texas, in that second half, they finally had a different story for them other than the first half, because then they started getting going. This is where they really started to score, because in the first half, most of the drives, other than getting that field goal on their second drive of the game, for the rest of that first half, they were usually having a 3-and-out, or their offensive drives were ending at midfield. But as soon as that second half started, that's where all this scoring came from. And the Washington Huskies, they got up to a 27-10 lead, and this was all the way up until about midway, or until about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then this is where the Texas Longhorns started to catch up, and Quinn Ewers was starting to really help out Texas and put points on the board for them. But although that they scored 10 points in that final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, getting up to 20 points, they never had the lead at all in this game, and the Washington Huskies ended up winning the Alamo Bowl 27-20, and they ended up also getting their 5th 11-win season in program history. All right, so now, today is the last day before we get to watch the college football playoff, and these games we have been anticipating all year long, because these are the games that we've wanted to watch we waited to watch all year long other than the national championship. But before we get to watch the games tomorrow, there are some pretty good games that we will get to watch today. And the first game that is going to come on is number 18 UCLA will be taking on Pittsburgh in the Sun Bowl at 2 p.m. on CBS. Then we have number 21 Notre Dame versus number 19 South Carolina in the Gator Bowl. Then we have at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Then we have number 6 Tennessee against number 7 Clemson in the Orange Bowl tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Now, with these 3 games, here are my predictions and what I think the scores will be. I say UCLA will beat Pittsburgh 43-30. I say South Carolina will beat Notre Dame to 38-24, and there is a chance that win margin could be larger because South Carolina had the most shocking ending to anybody's season all year long. They ended up beating 2 top 10 teams in Tennessee and Clemson to finish their season. Now, in that Orange Bowl where Tennessee is facing Clemson, I say Tennessee will whoop Clemson 52-17. Okay, yeah, Clemson does have 4 ranked wins. I'll give them that. But those 4 ranked wins are really nothing because those 4 ranked wins don't even have a true say on how good Clemson is or were as a team this year. And out of the 4 ranked teams that they played, none of them are ranked except for one team, and that's NC State, and they're just barely cutting it in the top 25, being ranked at 23. But here's the thing. After all these games, then tomorrow, it all comes down to these 2 games because we got the first game of the college football playoff with number 2 Michigan facing against number 3 TCU at 4 o'clock p.m. on ESPN. Now, TCU has had a phenomenal year, and Max Duggan, TCU's quarterback, has had an absolute baller year. But I do not think that they will be able to compete with Michigan. Yeah, they are ranked number 3, but Michigan this year is a better team than they were last year. Michigan is a different kind of breed this year. And with the game with Georgia versus Ohio State, that's 1 versus 4. This game I originally had a few weeks ago. I had Georgia going to the national championship facing Michigan, but that's how the teams were ranked at the time. This time around, I'm switching it up, and I'm saying Ohio State is going to beat Georgia and go to the national championship and face Michigan because I know Ohio State has that dog in them to beat Georgia, and I know for a fact that they want to fight as hard as they can to beat Georgia because I know they want to beat and get this redemption against Michigan. And I say the national championship will be the greatest rivalry in college football with Michigan versus Ohio State. Now all we got to do is watch and see on how all these games are going to be played out. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And I'm out.